Relax, ladies and gentlemen. Sit down, grab a cup of coffee. We're going to discuss society. We're going to figure out what the fuck makes this thing tick, and is there a better way to go about it? Joe Quirk is here from the Seasteading Institute. Young Jamie, cue the music.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Hello, everybody. For those of you who are not familiar with my guest, Joe Quirk is from the Seasteading Institute. And the Seasteading Institute, seasteading is a very unique concept. And it's been going around over the last X amount of years online. There have been all these articles and videos where people have talked about international waters, going out and creating a city, a floating city, and trying to re-engineer society. This is, all of the land on the earth has been sort of claimed and taken. You can't really start your own cult in the middle of nowhere without the government coming in and crashing your parade. But can you build a city and design a utopia based on the mistakes that we see in society today? This idea is that this same sort of competition that has led everything to innovate to the incredible degree that it is at today, whether it's computers, whether it's cars, all the things that we see and enjoy today in our society that are at this incredibly high level, it's because of competition. And that is the exact thing that is wrong with our government, this stagnation.
Yes.
This two-party system influenced by corporations that has the same mandate, the same ideas, the same tired rhetoric over and over and over again. And seasteading, you believe, offers a potential opportunity to break that mold.
Seasteading is not about, here's the list of rules we're going to impose on the ocean. It's confronting human nature, and there's always potential for fuckery. People do shitty things. And the way to solve that problem is not to just take some of those shitty people and give them absolute power over everybody else, and then they promise to make everyone behave better. I think governments will evolve and innovations will occur if there's decentralized power among multiple people who can only profit and be selfish by finding ways to serve and please each other. And that includes producing regulations by which we behave.
That's fascinating. So what you're essentially doing is you're providing a method for new civilizations to innovate. You're not proposing any sort of guidelines. You're not proposing any sort of new structure for government, new structure for finances. What you're doing is you are sort of opening up the door and allowing a wide variety of people to come through and allow the best ideas to float to the top.
Yeah, seasteading is not about seizing power from your political opponents. It's about ceding power to your political opponents to try their ideas elsewhere, to see if they can create something that will surprise you, and you can laugh at the fiascos if you want. But the more experiments, the more likely we are to discover solutions. And that's the truth of politics. Society is more complex than this microphone. I can't design this microphone, but I think I can design society through my political opinions. And the only tool I have to do that is force. So that forces me to fight over who's going to control the government, to force other people who disagree with me to do what I want. I don't think anyone knows how to run society. I think the solutions to humanity's deepest challenges are discovered. And they're discovered by lots of people trying lots of crazy ideas.
And the money comes from donations?
The money comes from donations. So we have over 1,000 donors, or 1,000 people who have donated. And we have hundreds of volunteers that have gotten involved, and we have probably 85 ambassadors. I'm getting so many ambassador applications right now, I can't keep up with them.
I want to be an ambassador.
Yeah, you.
I think it'd be dope.
You should be. You should serve on our board or something. So imagine
that kind of time.
Imagine a regular middle class person who donates money to the Seasteading Institute.
Yeah.
I mean, people get infected with this idea. They realize rather than arguing about my particular political problem, I go deeper and realize it's the structure itself. That we just don't have the innovations. We just don't have numerous people experimenting with new ideas. We gotta go deeper and hit restart on multiple small governments, micro countries on the sea, and we'll discover solutions we're not imagining now. just like the United States discovered solutions that were not in the imaginations of monarchists in previous centuries.
So, explain to me how this works. Like, if someone says, I think seasteading is a good idea. Is there a Kickstarter page? Is there do you have a PayPal link? I mean, how does someone donate to this where it winds up being your income?
We have a donation page on the website. Every time we send out our newsletter to our fans, we put a little donation link there. We accept Bitcoin. It's pretty easy to donate to the Seasteading Institute if that's what you want to do. If you go to the website and are inspired by it.
And what is the website?
Seasteading.org. And, I strongly recommend checking out the 8 Great Moral Imperatives, which is one of the problems the Seasteading Institute has had is that it's been very technical and it's talking to, aquatic engineers and there's legal scholars talking about stuff. And people go and they're kind of overwhelmed by the information and they don't know where to start. So I've tried to popularize the idea and create, 8 little videos explaining just the basic angles from which people are approaching seasteading to solve global challenges that people care about.
So the 8 Great Moral Imperatives you have as a video on seasteading. If you just Google the 8 Great Moral Imperatives, it'll show up. It's the first link, but it's on seasteading.org. That is the issue, right? Moral imperatives. That is the issue.
We got to get down past the divisive political language and just talk about human values that, conservatives, liberals, libertarians, and anarchists and everyone else shares for the most part. There's so many ways you can use the healthier plants of the sea to feed people. And you don't need to use fresh water. So a lot of people say agriculture needs to become aquaculture and we can give, Kansas back to the songbirds.
That's funny. It's a fascinating idea, the idea of seasteading, and it's also fascinating to try to reverse the process that we've already begun as far as destroying the oceans, as far as the amount of pollution that we're leaking into the oceans. If that could actually benefit some life forms in some sort of a way, and then we could sort of turn that back around and get something out of it in that way.
Yeah, I mean, algae's been the keystone of the global carbon cycle, for 3.5 billion years. It knows what it's doing, and we've been working against the carbon cycle and just like screwing up the whole planet. We can turn that wheel back around if we base our food on the ocean.
Listen, man, this is a great podcast. I really enjoyed this very much. It's a fascinating subject. I think there's massive potential for all this, and I think that it's really cool that you are investing so much time and so much energy into promoting these ideas. And I hope anybody listening to this explores further. Go to seasteading.org and check out the website and see what they have to offer. And Seasteading, is it just Seasteading on Twitter? What is the Twitter handle?
I think it's the Seasteading Institute.
Yes, that is what it is. Seasteading Institute on Twitter. Thanks, man. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Is there anything else you want to direct people to or tell people about?
Go to the Seasteading Institute. Check out our floating city survey. Let us know what you'd like to see on a floating city. We have a donation page there. Read up on stuff. We are working on the floating city project, and we'd like you to check it out and see if you think it's realistic and if you'd like to move there.
Glorious. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man. It's a lot of fun.
Joe.